Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Spirituality for Badass Babies podcast. And today I am here with my beautiful friend, Anne Aliana, and she is a spiritual mentor, a medium, and an energy healer. She is also the host of the World Tree podcast. Welcome, 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 beautiful soul. I'm so excited to have you on here because Anne and I have actually chatted for quite a bit, actually, before getting together on this episode, and she has such a beautiful story that I'm so excited to share, for her to share with you guys. So let's jump into that. Share a little bit about yourself and your story. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, well, thank you, and it's an honor to be here. So thank you for reaching out, and happily to join you. And I'm all the way here from Denmark, and traveled to the States before, and I'm here because you asked me to share a bit about my story, and to get back to that story that you asked me to share here today was how I healed myself. And to begin with, I must say that I have healed myself in my mind. I've healed my physical body for everything there was. I suffered from chronic pain for many years. I suffered from voices within my mind when I was in the beginning of my 20s. And it seemed like depression and visions and shadows. And I'd really faced the darkness in my life at the age of 23. And I was just, starting my first job as a humane physiotherapist, and I really started working in the hospital, seeing things, listening to people that were in coma, and all of this was there when I was a child. But at that age, because I've shut everything down and suppressed who I really was, then it just got overwhelming. But I was very scientific in my background, growing up with a mom as a nurse and taking this study myself, that I could really find the physical explanation, the scientific explanation to how I felt. And for 1 year, I isolated myself and did not share this with many because I did not want to share how I felt, because women in my family, they suffer from mental, I would not say illness, but back in the day, it was mental illness. And down that road, my parents and my husband, he is now, was my boyfriend back then, they did an intervention on me, and that's where I met my first life coach. And that's kind of where my story changed, because in 5 minutes she asked me, "And what makes you truly happy?" And I said, "Horses." And then I started to cry, and then I just, in 5 minutes, just felt like what seemed like the depression, it just made a shift. And that would be just, to keep this also with the headlights of how my story started. But this is how I, at a younger age, and I'm almost 37 now, and at the age of 25, I started my own business, and then I started to heal horses. And that was really my opening, one step by step. And but still, there was something missing, because I was still controlled by negative thoughts, voices, chronic pain. I would always have like this burning sensation inside my body, and sometimes I could not get out of bed, could hardly move, and other days I would always be the one every month being ill with the highest fever, and always low in my immune system, and I could just be around people and I would get ill. But being around horses and working outside, that really, gave me strength. But no people that I hired to help me with my health or my mental health could really help me. So in 2017, I met an American teacher in an osteopathy class here in Copenhagen. And he just touched my hand and he said, "Anne, you already feel, you just have to listen." And that is the day I felt something move through me, because I was already doing telepathy with horses, and I was, still seeing things, but I did not share this. I was still, in the same old environment, and I did not want to say it out loud because I did not want to seem crazy. Here in Denmark, we're a bit just being spiritual in Denmark, you have to go to the biggest cities, and here I am in the countryside,
Talking to animals.
talking to animals. So,
I love that. I think that is so beautiful and something that we touch on in this podcast all the time, saying how we are able to heal our own bodies, which is so important, and what some people just don't realize nowadays, especially with the Western medicine and everything going on in the world right now. A lot of people, they just resort to pills. Just give me more pills, give me more pills. And I know I was like that. I was an addict for a very long time, but that is not it. You can just heal yourself just from your mindset, just from internally, that your body is designed to heal itself. That's what it was made for. Do it's supposed to heal by itself. It's so beautiful. And just being in nature, being by animals, there's so much love and so much healing energy just by being around that. That is so beautiful. Can you speak a little bit about your healing journey, how you healed yourself? That is so beautiful that you were able to do that. And I want to go into a little bit deeper into it a little bit later, because I know you dealt with some very heavy-ish health issues as well. So let's just start talking about that.
Yeah, but let's just say this day that I met this man is just like, okay, he didn't have to speak. It was like you and I, we've met before, and I just moved on in my life feeling. From that day, I feel that I really felt healed within my mind, and all the spirits around me that just, always wanted to be here to speak with me. Just the same evening, I was speaking to my grandfather, and it was just, hearing his voice loud and clear. But for 1 year, I would go through a lot of healing where everything I would feel that old beliefs and old experiences would show up. Then I would, go on a path where I allowed the light to heal me, and I allowed the spirits around me to step forward and to help me heal. But then in a few months, shortly after this episode, then I was out healing a horse. And I was aware of my health issues, but I was also taking it step by step because I was also hiring people to help me, the alternative way. But I just felt that there was more to heal myself, where it could all leave me at the same time. That's just what I kept on receiving. You have to heal yourself, and you have to heal yourself now because people, they need you to be all healed. And already in 2017, I felt that I had to prepare for March 2020. So this is where I really just started to follow my own path in everything that I do. And then one day I was out healing in a horse, and then my client, a woman, she said, I know it sounds really strange, but my boyfriend who lives in Italy, he's on the phone right now, and he says that it's urgent, that he really has to speak with you, and I just have to let you know like this. And then he says that you will know what the matter is. And I just felt this again, like energy run through me, and I was on a call for 1 hour with a guy in Italy that spoke Italian, but every time he spoke, we could still understand each other. And he started to tell me that, Anne, what is around you? There's good energy around you, and there's bad energy around you. And I have to tell you everything what I see because I feel that you can handle it. And when I tell you this, then this will be the next step of you always standing strong in your own light. So he said that you have a tumor on the right side of your chest. And he said that I have to tell you that I'm not a doctor. He's a medium working in Italy. And he said, you have to go to get a mammo. And then when I felt my right chest, I could feel what he said. And then I was like, okay, now I go around healing other people, but what about myself? Because I know how I can help others. And then he said all the names to those standing next to me, including past deceased family members. And he said everything that was within my physical body, also things that I already knew, like everything that was due to vaccines that I did when I was younger. And he pointed out what bacteria that was in my body. He pointed out what heavy metals and where it was in my body. And he pointed out all of this. And the tumor, he said that when you go to the doctor's office, they will see the leftovers of a tumor. And if you say, and then he asked me to do a prayer twice a day. And then he asked me to just place my hand on my chest and on the top of my head. And he said, you have really to call in the highest of the highest. He just said the highest of the highest. And then I started. He said, on the 8th day, you will wake up in the middle of the night and there will be sweat everywhere in your bed. And when you wake up in the morning, it will be completely gone. And what will be there will just be like a leftover. And when I felt the tumor, I could just hear that there are changes there. It's changing. And now it's time to heal yourself. And then I just saw myself at the age of 45. I just got a vision from the future. And then I saw how I was just walking down the line with more health issues because I didn't feel that this was mine. I feel that this is what my body created to always be in this defense mode of energy going all around me. And on the 8th day, I woke up in the middle of the night in high fever and shivering, and the sweat was all over my body. And in the morning, it was I couldn't hardly feel it anymore. And then 18 days later, I went to the doctor's appointment, and the doctor I met there, she was like, "And I feel that this is just a checkup for you. I can feel that there has been something, but maybe this is just a reminder for you to take care of yourself," she said. And then she left the room. And when she left the room, to me was the vibration of the ceiling that was moving. And then a greater light came in, and then I just listened to this voice, like I'm the highest of the highest. That's just the day that the voice presented himself that day, and said, "My child, you are now healed, and now I need you to do this higher mission." And since that day, I know that I'm all well, and I know that I will be well for the rest of my life until that I'm called home for. And I'm happy to share my story to inspire others, because there's always a way to heal.
Wow, 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 wow. I got chills listening to that, and I have tears in my eyes right now because that is so beautiful. Like, I have no other words for that. That is absolutely stunning. And I know who your higher power is. I want to chat a little bit about that a little later. Um, that's just incredible. It's so incredible what your body could do, what your mind could do. And that's so incredible that this man came into your life unexpectedly and was able to see all of that. Like, he was your guardian angel at that point, sent from heaven, God, whatever you believe in, Jesus in your case, sent from the higher realms to help you, to assist you, and to guide you along this journey. And it's so beautiful that you were able to completely heal yourself from mental problems you were having earlier, but as well as this tumor, which I can't even imagine how tough that must have been, to being on the phone call with this gentleman that doesn't know you, saying, "You have a tumor in your breast. I'm not a doctor, but you do." I can't even imagine what you were going through with that. And to just be able to heal yourself in 8 days, and then 18 days even after that. Oh my goodness, that is incredible. And you are so powerful, so beautiful. Your energy is so beautiful being here. And I'm so grateful to be able to speak to you as well.
It's just an honor to be here. You hold an amazing space for people. That's why I just felt called.
Thank you.
I was just the same voice step forward, and it's like, you go there.
You have to do this.
Yeah, you go there.
So let's chat a little bit about healing. What kind of healing did you do? We talk a lot about energy healing. I do Reiki myself. I do EFT tapping. I do theta healing. So a little bit of everything. What were you specifically doing in order to heal yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and this crazy tumor that you had as well?
Growing up with the scientific background, I've done so many courses, but every time I would attend a course, I felt that, ancient masters would step forward and guide me. Sometimes it would be some from the Chinese emperor. Sometimes it's Native Americans. Sometimes it's, and Scandinavian feminine energy about the herbs. But this, I really felt that this was all about picking up that energy, really picking up that energy. And the words that I used was really because to me, it had to be simple. And that's the words that I've listened to since then, that we have to share this in a simple way. So people understand that this healing is available to us right now, that it's not a 10-year study to feel all healed. It's not a search for being healed. When we start this conversation of I am healed, then the process is already starting. And I just placed my right hand over my chest, and then I placed the left hand on my crown chakra, because the greater voice said that this is the opening. This is the opening for this energy of light and love to run through you. And every time I would just close my eyes, then the prayer would be, I would breathe in, and then I said, if it's not out of love, I pray for it to be forgiven and released. And then I breathe out. And then I would continue to say this prayer until I could feel that my hands would come off my body. And I just felt that I would pick up this energy, just pick up this energy of everything that there was in because what I felt that it was in my deep fascia in my chest, really down deep in the deep fascia, because when I see the body, I also see the body in details of how does the liver look like? How does it, I see everything. I see the arteries. I see everything. I see how the fascia is connected. That's how my vision is. So when I saw myself, it's just I would at the same time use the vision of right now I am picking up that tumor, the energy of that tumor. And then I would just ask, and then I could just feel the same energy run through me from my crown chakra all the way down. And then I would get warm, get all heated up, and my body would just respond. And I know that this was just a strong belief in myself and my own health, that I just had this kind of warrior heart feeling that just stepped forward that day. Is like, I'm not ill. I have a child. I'm not ill. I'm going to get through this.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is stunning. That's so beautiful. And it's so important to realize how strong and how deep energy really is, because that's something that I feel most humans that we underappreciate, especially growing up in the Western atmosphere, like being around Western medicine, not being able to correlate actual healing energy from energy. Like energy is everywhere, everything is energy, and we have that energy within us, but it's up to us to make that connection, up to us to set that intention, because that prayer for you was the intention. It's so important that we do things with the intention of healing, getting better, raising our vibration, whatever intention you're trying to go for. It's so important to add that intention, because that's where the power happens. And then right after you said that prayer, said that intention, you felt all the energy come through, which was so beautiful. Oh, I love that story so much. Thank you so much for sharing it. So I do want to chat a little bit about animals, because we've talked about this as well. And this is something that I'm learning to do now. Actually, I just hired a channel coach, and I'm really excited talking to animals. How did you go about learning to talk to animals telepathically? Can everyone do this? How do they start doing this? Tell me more.
Yeah, I would say that growing up, I was 6 years old when my parents, they bought the first dog, and I was 10 years old when I got my first horse. But the family always had dogs around us. And when I got my horse, then we always talked, and I was allowed to, go to the forest, and we would go to the ocean on my own. And I had her until I was 18, and she was just my safe place. But when I was a teenager, I did not share this with my friends. I feel that we could always speak to each other when we were next to each other. But putting her down at the age of 18, and I was, just finished what is high school here in Denmark, then I was gonna travel for Great Britain and stay there for 5 months to, yeah, just go out there, experience the world. But putting her down was just like closing the door to the childhood. And being away for horses for many years, I shut everything down, all my what was natural when I was a kid and when I was a teenager. And then when I started working with horses again, I would really feel more pain every time that I would heal. So when I touched a horse, then I would feel more pain. And then every time, I never got kicked, I never got bitten, I was always helping the horse, and the horse would allow me to do everything. But then I was really in the thinking part of my mind when I started healing horses. But within a few years, it's just, it activated more and more. But still, there was this kind of lit still on me where it's like my voice was almost choke up every time I would try to share this. But I found out when I was with my clients that, okay, this talking to your horse, this is really a place that we can share these conversations. So what happened to me was when I started in osteopathy classes for humans, where you learn listening techniques, you learn how to listen through your hands to your body, you learn how to really listen with your hands. And osteopaths all over the world, especially in the States, they use these techniques as where you place the right hand on the top of the head, and then you just follow the body and trust what the body is telling you. And then I started to use this technique on the horse. And already after finishing that listening, and I did this just to grow my skills, in the fascia, and just really just, maintaining balance and harmony in the body. And in 3 days, I was just like, okay, this is not my voice. Now I'm receiving stories of, okay, why is this saddle hurting my back? And can you tell my owner that I really want to have this to eat and I want to be trained in this way? And it's really, my right hind leg that is the problem. It's not the spine. And it was just, it would, every time I met a new horse, I would just, it's like, when I was there, my mindset was like, I'm here to help you. I am open to receive. I'm just here to listen. And that would just be, we can call it my horse mantra, but that would just be like, I would tell that to myself when I walked in there. And so every time I placed my hand on the top of the head, some horses, they did not want me to touch their heads. That was like their private area. And then I started this just through my hands, where I felt that placing your right hand over the heart, and then my left hand on the C1, that is the first cervical joint you have in the neck. And then I was like, okay, when you create this, and then in the same time, because the horse is a flight animal, it was like I would calm the horse down, because this is where the stress nerve runs through the horse's body. So I felt when I would place my hand there, it's like, I'm not a predator. I'm not here to do you any harm. You can feel safe. Then they would just open up this, and then I see things, in images. The horses, they would show me images. But just every time I met a new horse, I would just hear their voices. And today it's pure stories where I listen to their voices,
That is
acknowledging their free
that is
spirits.
So much fun. I love that. Like we were talking and I'm learning to talk to animals as well right now. I think that is so much fun, and just chatting with animals I think is such a fun, beautiful gift along with all these other gifts that you have as well. Do you totally kind of off topic now really, are certain animals more chatty than others? Are certain animals tell you stories versus personality traits? Like how would you describe some
I
animals? I'm
would
very
say
curious.
I've had dogs myself for 12 years until I put my older dog down last year. Now I have two horses myself and two cats. And what I feel is when I see the horses, they're always, they always see who I am. Like they see right through me, and they know that I see everything. So they know that I see illness, I see injuries, and I see all traumas, and I see everything. So the horse sometimes can be a bit hesitant to share because they see my energy of the way that I speak with the owner. And sometimes it's my advice that I'm not here to decide if an animal should be put down or not. That's the vet's area. But of course, if the horse is telling me that it's time, I'm called home for, and I've had a lot of these, I would say, assignments over the past 3 years, then it's my mission to bring that message that the animals share. But that's what I feel with the horse. Either the horse is really, I want to share everything with you so my life can be better right now, because the horses, they live right now. And it's all about the movement through the hooves. So when I meet them, it's either sharing the whole story or taking a step back because they know that I see. And then they're a bit hesitant of what they share. But meeting dogs, it's like, here you are. You are coming into my world. Are you ready to take your pen and your notebook? And then I'm just here to share everything there is to share. And then there's the cat, because I've healed, most. I speak with animals on all the travels that I do. I'm really, if I meet a new animal, I have to go over there and speak. Sometimes I'm a bit too brave, I think. But when it's the cats and when I go healing, it's really, I have to see myself as the one coming in, almost making the bow, like honoring the king, honoring the queen. Because cats, they are really aware of who they are. And I feel that they are really in touch with their natural instincts, where the dogs, often the breeding has made them more, is this me or is this energy from my human? And the wolf instincts, they're
Very low.
that's very low. And when you meet the cat, it's they decide if they want to share the story. Like you have to be acknowledged and accepted. Like you really have to prove that you're here to help them and only them.
That is a
And
great tip. I could imagine dogs being like, "Ah, look at me! Yay!"
I'm ready.
And yeah, and cats being a little bit more submissive. I can imagine that. I'm gonna test it out with my cats now. We just got two new ones, so I'll definitely be talking to them.
Yeah.
So, what final tips, tricks do you have anyone looking to either expand their clairs, their psychic abilities, or just looking to heal themselves? What kind of last minute tips and tricks do you have for anyone?
Well, I must say, I believe in everyone having their own. We can call it, here I am with English as my second language, but in Danish, I would say it's like having your own opening line. Always knowing your own power to know how to shift the negative into the positive. Knowing that you hold that power to always make a shift. And this power of making a shift to me, and the advice I want to bring is that when you place your right hand over your heart chakra, and when you place your left hand over your crown chakra, then you are already in this connection where you release and you connect and activate at the same time. So when you breathe, then I believe in the conversation of I am. Because when you speak the conversation of I am and I am connected, then your mind, especially the thinking part of you and your body, will be on your team right away. And when you speak in the language that is natural to you, where it's words that is aligned with your natural function, then know that you hold that power when something negative shows up, a thought, an old belief, or if someone says something to you, know that you hold this power and you can just breathe in. So, what comes through to you when you do this? You can release first just by breathing in, and then you breathe out. And then you just continue until you feel that your hands will come off your body. Just continue until you feel that your hands will come off your body. Then know that you hold this power just to release everything there is to release. So just feel this, and then you can go back. So if you just felt that your hands were coming off your body, go back to the same position, and then you breathe in. And what do you want? If there's something you want to tell yourself right now, this could be your opening line. Like, I'm an animal communicator. Then you just breathe in, I'm an animal communicator, and then you breathe out. Then you really breathe it in. You just breathe it in because you already are. It's not a study to be an animal communicator, but it can be a good thing to have someone guide us. I have mentors and healers and guides myself.
That's
Always have that,
beautiful.
yeah. Have your own opening line. That's a shift already there taking place.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Anne. I think everyone's going to walk away with this episode trying to heal themselves, animals, talk to animals. They're going to be like, this is amazing. This Danish woman, I don't know what she was talking about, but it was just amazing. Thank you so much, Anne. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they find your podcast?
They can go to worldtree.com. There will be all links to the podcast and also to follow me every day on Instagram. And there will my website is just being updated, but there will also be a link for TikTok. I'm new to TikTok, but this is where I show up daily to bring more healing and more messages.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Anne, for being here. And I know my audience will definitely love this. I'm so excited to share this episode with everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For more tips and tricks on business and spirituality, join us inside the Spirituality for Badass Babes Facebook group.